Hi everyone, this is Ms. Tom with checkpoint number 3 on unit rates and proportions. Unit rates are really important because you always want to know how much is 1. I know 5 costs this, but I want to know what is 1. Miss Mac prepared some notes for you guys on some examples, and I'm going to go over a video lesson. Remember, I go over all the odd sides, and then you do all the even sides on Canvas. Alright, so let's go over number 1. It says, in the past year, Anna spent $7,440 on her rent. So let's write that. She spent $7,440 on her rent. And her rent was how much? Well, how much per month? So we need to know what per month means. Per month means we're going to divide it by how many months are in a year? There are 12. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and divide it. And for the sake of this video being shorter, I'm going to go ahead and use a calculator. 7,440 divided by 12, and we get 620. Now I forgot to write this, but we really should be putting, this is dollars, and this is months. So what's really happening here is we're going to say that's equal to 620, and then what's the bottom number? It's per 1 month. So that is the rent per month, 620. What do you guys think? Is that cheap? Good? If we're talking about San Diego, that's really good. If you're talking about somebody else, I guess not. All right, so let's continue. Let's go over number 3 now. It says Meg knows that it takes 16 minutes to read 7/8 of her chapter book. How long will it take to read the entire book? Well, okay, so 16 minutes to read the whole book. So really right now what we're doing is 7/8. That's kind of what we want to know as the whole book, right? But 7 out of 8 isn't the whole book. So what we did earlier was whatever we wanted to have as the 1 value, we put on the denominator, and then whatever we were dividing was on the numerator. So I know this is going to look tricky, but don't worry, we got this. This one's going to be 16 minutes, right? And then we're trying to find 7/8 of it. So what's happening is you're dividing it by 7/8 of the chapter. And I know what you're thinking. What? There's a fraction on the denominator. How could that be? Okay, that's a little confusing looking. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to just write it like this. 16, that little line means divided by. So we're going to write divided by 7/8. Okay? Now, another thing you can do is you can notice it's divided by. What's the same as dividing by? The same as dividing by is multiplying by the reciprocal. And what is the reciprocal of 7/8? It's 8/7. Okay, so then we're going to go ahead and multiply straight across right here. 16 times 8, you can do that off to the side, or you can use a calculator. Just to make this video a little shorter, I'm going to use a calculator here, but I'm going to guess the answer is 138. Let's see if I'm right. Oh, 128. 128, very close. So you're going to go 128 over 7 times 1 is 7 is equal to, now this is a improper fraction, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and divide that. 128 divided by 7, we get 18.285. I'm going to round that up where that 5 makes this a 9, so 18.29. So 18.29 minutes. And that kind of makes sense because it took 16 minutes to finish almost all of it, so it's not going to take that much longer to finish the rest of it. So that's to finish the entire chapter. Alright, let's continue. It says, use the table below to write and solve a ratio for how long it'll take to be $120. Okay, so we want to know $120. If you notice, the top values is dollars, and then the bottom value is days worked. So right here, I'm going to go ahead and draw a line. dollars was supposed to be 120, and then days worked, we don't know, so I'm gonna write, I don't know, X. Okay, so there's many different ways to solve this one, and I'm gonna solve this one by using this method where we'd use proportions. Okay, so I'm actually gonna use this part right here where, okay, I go, okay, so it takes $35. She earns $35 in 4 days, and we want to know how much is she going to earn after she, or how many days does she have to work if she wants to work 120, and then I'm going to divide that by X. Now remember when we did these problems, we were like, oh my gosh, this is denominators, how do I get rid of them? Well, you get rid of them by multiplying by them. So you see how the denominators are 4 and X? What you could do here is you can multiply this by 4, this by X, and then what I do to one side, I do to the other. X, and then the other one is going to be 4. Boom, got that. Then we're going to be like, oh, things can cancel out. 4's can cancel out. X's can cancel out on this side. So then we're going to go over here left with 35 times X, which is 35. X is equal to 120 times 4. 120 times 4 is going to be 480. And then lastly, what we're going to do is we're going to divide by 35. What I do to one side, I do to the other. So we get X is equal to, what is 480 divided by 35? Okay, 480 divided by 35. We're going to get 13 and 71 hundredths. That 4 makes it round down, so we go 13 and 71 hundredths. And that's how long. We're going to say days. So it takes about 13, almost 14 days to earn $120. All right, let's continue. Here we go. Number 7. Stephen receives 6 gumballs for every 2 hours of homework he does. If he wants 22, how many will he need to do? So I'm going to solve it the same way that I did the other one. So it says 6 gumballs, and that was in 2 hours. Yeah? And you want to know how much will he need to do 22, no, not 22 hours, 22 gumballs. Okay, so we got to do gumballs here. So we're going to go 22 gumballs. I'm going to write that in blue. 22 gumballs. And then how many does he need? Well, we don't know how many hours that's going to take, so we're going to go X. Okay? Then once again, we're going to go ahead and solve for what we need here. We notice that the denominators are both 2 and X. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply this by 2, multiply this by X, multiply this by X, multiply this by 2. Then we're going to notice these 2 cancels out, these X cancel out. So we're going to say it is 6X is equal to 22 times 2, 44. Then lastly, we're going to go ahead and divide by 6. What we do to one, we do to the other. So we get X is equal to how many hours is he going to need to work? Let's find out. Where we go, 44 divided by 6, we get 7.3. So it's going to take him about 7.33 with the vinculum hours to get those gumballs. Do you guys like gumballs? They're okay. Sometimes they get stuck in the teeth, right? Okay. All right, we're on to the last one. Here we go. It says 1 7/8 Kaylin leaves 1 7/8 of paint for each room in her house. How many cans of paint does she need to paint 9-room house? Okay, so let's talk about that. 1 7/8 to paint 1 room, right? So she needs 1 7/8 of paint for 1 room. And we want to know, how are we going to get 9 rooms? Well, what do we do here? How does 1 become 9? Well, we multiply by 9. What do we do to one? We do to the other. Now, I will tell you, you can write it like that, but a suggestion is it's hard to multiply that number by 9, 1 and 7/8 by 9. So what I'm probably going to do is change 1 and 7/8 to a improper fraction, where we're going to multiply that by 8 times 1 and then add 2. 8 times 1 is going to be 8, plus 7 is going to be 15. It's going to be 15 over 8. So basically what we're doing is we're going to go 15 over 8 times the 9 that we saw we were multiplying. And put 9 over 1. We're going to be equaling that here. So this is going to be 135 over 8. Let's check that math here. Did I get it right? Let's see. 15 times 9. Oh, yeah. And then 8 times 1. Yes. Okay, so then we're going to go ahead and divide that. 135 divided by 8. We get 16 and 875. So 16 and 875. And that's how much paint they need. So cans, you need 16.875 cans of paint. All right, thanks everybody. Good luck on the even sides. If you have any questions, let me know, and have a great day.